All right, what's up, everybody? It is a hot summer day here in Dallas, Texas, and I decided to go ahead and for this one do a little 45 double feature action right here, right here. In my hand, I have A Knight's Tale. This is a 45 from John Doe, 1200 Hobos. This is awesome. So side A is Bulletproof, side B is A Knight's Tale, which I really like. And this is coming out of Cincinnati, that 1200 Hobos crew, which is why I also decided to, at the same time, do Mr. Dibbs, Ugly and Proud, parts 5 and 6. So both of these are real cool. Funny thing about Mr. Dibbs, first time I heard him was the Habitat, the photosynthesis music that he did for that skate video that Habitat Skateboards came out with. And I remember watching it and really liking the music and thinking it was cool. And then, you know, being young enough at the time, not really thinking about when I saw the album for sale and some of the skateboard catalogs. I think CCS had it, some other stuff. And never really thought anything of it, you know, because I didn't know who Mr. Dibbs was. I liked the music, but I liked music paired with skateboarding, and and that goes all the way back to when I was just a tyke. I think two of the biggest things that started most of my music influence was the first Krusty Demons of Dirt, those freestyle kind of motocross. They go ride the dunes and trails and stuff on motorcycles. They had a Pennywise song, and I didn't know who they were, but I really liked the energy and the sound of it and all, and the fast-paced drums and the guitar. And so I think that was kind of my first taste towards kind of punk rock. And I must have only been maybe 7, maybe 8 when that, I think they'd already had like Krusty 3 by the time I'd got a hold of the first one. And then along with that, the first hip hop track I ever heard that I was really hooked on. I remember it was off of a Logic skateboard video, Logic 5. And I remember getting the VHS, you know, because when you're a kid, you don't have money. I didn't have it. I couldn't save my money for crap. But anyway, I remember buying Logic 5 out of the like clearance VHS bin at one of our skate shops. And it had this Diggable Planets song. It was I think it's called What Is Really What, but I just loved the opening with that had the sample and the, you know, we're just babies, man. And I remember hearing Diggable Planets rap and not knowing who they were, and not even really understanding a lot of the side information when you watch a skate video where it tells you the band and the song and all that. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to any of that. But I do remember rewinding the tape every time that song was over so I could rewatch that part, but mainly jam out to the song. So anyway, saying all that to say, skateboarding and skateboard videos, you know, BMX videos, freestyle motorcycle videos, snowboard videos, that's what really kind of shaped a lot of the sound that I listened to. And it wasn't because this was cool and this is what was happening, but whatever I heard that I really liked, that's as far as it needed to go for me. You know, I just knew I liked it. I felt it. I vibed with it. And anyway, so much later, a friend of mine started playing Themselves, which is a group from the Anti-Con record label. And it was really bizarre. If you've ever listened to them, a lot of their stuff I really like a lot. But he was playing stuff from, they came out with this album called The No Music, and then later they had a lot of the people that are on the record label and affiliated with them each remix a song. So then they came out with The No Music of AIFS, AIFFS. I think it's standing for like Anti-Con Friends and Family or something like that, affiliates, something like that. And anyway, that was my introduction to them, and it was really kind of weird, but some of it I liked. And at the time was starting to get into Slug and Ant, you know, Atmosphere, and I really liked their stuff. And then I started to hear Mr. Dibbs when he kind of DJs with Slug and with Atmosphere, and I really liked everything that he was doing, and I got really into listening to DJs that scratched and turntablism. I got really into that, and so always been a huge fan of Mr. Dibbs, and so that was kind of the intro into the 1200 Hobos crew, and then I started finding, oh man, what's that kick-ass album that he put out? Oh shit, hold on. Because I know the songs is called, it was Turntable Scientifics. Mr. Dibbs put out this album called Turntable Scientifics, and side A I think was Aneurysms, and side B was Hypothalamus, and I was just blown away at how much activity was going on. So then after that, I had to check out the Evolution mixtape from 1200 Hobos, and I was just online, or I mean, if I couldn't find it and buy it, I was downloading it, stealing it. I don't give a damn. I was getting a hold of every track I could from all those guys, which led me to, off of eBay, John Doe, which is also part of the 1200 Hobos crew. And John Doe is a super cool cat. And I picked up, he was selling some CDs, and I picked up Popular Fallacies and The Last Amateur. And both those are awesome. I love The Last Amateur. What I really like about The Last Amateur that John Doe did was it starts off, the last shall be first, then the first shall be last, and he's juggling some stuff, and then he starts going in and doing all his tricks, and it's very narrated. It's really badass. But when the CD ends, right when it ends and then rolls back to the beginning of the first track, it doesn't stop. So when you let it play, he figured out how to not only make a whole mixtape that never stops song to song, but even the end and the beginning loop back into each other, and I love that. I really do. I've always thought that was really cool, and he definitely is not an amateur. I mean, he might not be out gigging, and he might not be putting out too much stuff. I think he said he was working on some newer stuff, but man, he's not an amateur at all. It's really good album. Last Amateur, 1 Hour Photo, and then the Popular Fallacies was really good too. He took a lot of kind of narrative or titles from movies and kind of reworked and did some stuff. But anyway, so I've got these two. This is just a fun little 45 to listen to, and you can kind of hear some mix. It's got style all over it. Yeah, then this has got Ugly and Proud parts 5 and 6. Like I said, I pretty much just try and, well, it says this one's volume 3. Sorry, this one's volume 3. Yeah, volume 3 parts 5 and 6. That's what it is. But anyway, Turntable Hardcore, Mr. Dibbs. Then you got John Doe right next to it, where it's supposed to be. These two dudes, this Cincinnati underground turntablism, two serious gods coming out of the Midwest. I mean, they just do magic. They're so good. So I've always really looked up to them, and it was just funny. A few years ago when I finally decided to just go ahead and buy turntables, I didn't want to be a DJ. I wasn't jealous, and you started seeing Deadmau5 and all these other douchebags make a bunch of money, and I don't mean all of them are automatically douchebags. I guess I just don't feel that kind of music. Me personally, I think that guy's a douchebag, but people love his music, and you know what? He's passionate about what he does, so I got to give him respect as an artist. I guess I'm just talking more about kind of seeing him as, I guess, the way the public eye puts him as a person. I don't know. Anyway, performance DJs are out there making a lot of money, and when I bought turntables, that's not what I was doing at all. Some people buy a guitar to want to be a rock star. Some people buy a guitar to learn how to play guitar. So that's kind of the approach that I took when I bought turntables. I knew with what I bought that there was resale value, so I thought I would just give it a try and play around with it. And I got kind of all-inclusive fire sale from this guy. His wife was out of town, and he was supposed to be selling all of his equipment, and he just put it up all at once. So I got a crate with some break beats and Tupac singles that were double, and the Jay-Z Black album, and you know, some of the thud rumble breakbeat stuff, and he gave me 2 mixers and 2 tables, and a little keyboard stand and coffin case, and I mean, I got the steal of the century, and started going home and playing around. And you know, first off, you want to learn how to scratch and this and that, and then one of my older friends who has grown up around the music scene, and he doesn't DJ himself, but he has a lot of friends who do, and he's just really music knowledgeable. Kind of immediately from the get-go started explaining, you know, beat matching and you know, dropping in on the downbeat and things like that. And then once I started to figure out some of those real simple concepts from the get-go, then he started showing me, you know, how to chaos theory and how to do some other stuff with doubles. And so I just stayed home and just practiced and practiced and had a great time the whole time. And then, you know, looked up and it was a year later, and started buying all my records and my crates, and just got really into it. And I was really determined at the time, at the beginning, to start out vinyl only, like just two channels with a mic plug-in. He even showed me how to old school late 70s microphone where you plug your headphones into the mic jack and reverse the signal, and you can holler out through your headphones and use it as a microphone. And he just taught me a lot of the old cool tricks, and I like that. And so I spent almost 2 years vinyl only, building up my crates and learning how, like I said, learning how to juggle, learning how to blend, learning how to do a lot of different of the basics. And I had fun the whole time. And then I stepped up my game and got a nice new mixer that's Serato enabled, and it's got, you know, SP sampler built in and effects built in. But you know, I knew the basics. So even when I started on my new mixer that I have now, you know, I spent weeks just on the sound kind of filters that you could put on, and then I spent a couple months just working on how to really get the most out of the SP sampler and queuing, and I've just taken it one step at a time, and it's been really fun. But this type of sound and these type of DJs are the guys that I absolutely look up to. I would never get arrogant enough to say I'm going to replace any of these guys, but you know, eventually if I got big enough or talented enough or something like that, even just a nod from these type of people would mean a lot to me. And so anyway, that's where I work hard. It's where a lot of my sound comes from. If you look on SoundCloud and stuff right now, first thing I wanted to do was a nod to an album that Mr. Dibbs and Gel put out called Presage, Outer Perimeter. And that was a huge, when I got a hold of that, it was like no looking back for a lot of things. And that was really huge, really well done album. And so anyway, long story for two short little 45s here. But yeah, we've got the John Doe. Check out everything you can from him. It's real limited. And then you got Mr. Dibbs. When I go ahead and get my turntable back, it's being repaired right now. I'll finally have both my decks again, and I'll start jumping into more of my break beats and showing videos on how I like to use them, and that way you get kind of a crash course on sound of what's on the album. I definitely got, you know, all his Unearthed series and turntable noise and the stuff he did with Animal Crackers crew and all kinds of fun stuff coming up. And if anyone else is selling more copies of Unearthed Volume 2 or Unearthed Volume 3, get at me. I need as many of those as I can because I work them hard. I use those a lot just for fun at home. But anyway, we got Ugly and Proud, and we got A Knight's Tale, 1200 Hobos. This is 1200 Hobos. Good stuff, solid stuff actually. It's some of my favorites. So anyway, put this back in here. We got some real hip hop, real pioneers. You know, I think it's real goofy when people think like just because it's old, it's not good anymore. Like it's not food, you know, it doesn't have an expiration date. When it's good, and and that's it, you know. And if it came before you and you don't like that, you know, you must be really young. Like, just know your role. You know what I mean? I just get real tired about it. Seems like some of the new mainstream music that comes out, the only reason it's popular at all is because it's brand new and it's right in front of you. It's like, so if it already made it on the TV, that's what makes it good. It's like, anyway, so think for yourself. I know I did. When I heard this stuff, a lot of people think it's really busy hip hop. It's too much scratching or whatever, but I don't care. I'm one of those scratch junkies, turntablism. I love it. I can't get enough of it. Drive my girlfriend crazy with it. And anyway, yeah, Ugly and Proud, Knight's Tale, double dose.